Hey, this is Bryce and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Jack of Trades. Lately I found that I don't have enough time to really produce videos, but I am doing a lot in the shop, just working on miscellaneous projects here and there. So I thought as a way to kind of share what's going on and not have to sit in front of a computer doing a lot of editing, I just do these impromptu videos of what's on the bench. And for me, my bench changes every day. I've always got things coming and going. Priorities change, interests change. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around and we'll see what's on the bench. So my benches are pretty messy because I spent the weekend doing some organizing and trying to drag out some stuff from storage. And so I've got a lot. Usually my benches are empty and free so I can actually do work on them. But now I've got a lot of clutter on them at the moment. So looking at my cleanest bench, not a lot going on here. I'm enjoying a nice little after work drinky poo. I've gotten back into the airplane stuff, so I've got this old OS FS40 four-stroke engine that I'm thinking about putting into a plane. But this engine has gone through what looks like a crash. It's got the exhaust port's been welded onto the head, and then there's a little bit of wobble in this backing plate for the prop. But the output shaft actually looks true. But I think I'm going to go ahead and tear this down and rebuild it just to make sure everything's copacetic. And then we'll put it on a test stand and fire it up. But I got that going on. This is some parts that came with the engine. There's a little engine mount there, spinner, and then the two types of exhausts. So moving on this bench, I'm still working on finishing up the playhouse work. So I've got a bunch of stuff in here that would otherwise be in the playhouse. This is basically like a little miniature coffee table made out of a toolbox with a butcher block top. On here I've got some project cars that I pulled out of the attic just to kind of dig around looking for stuff. So when I get used cars in, what I'll do is I'll box them up and start kind of sourcing parts for them. So all these are project cars that eventually will get rebuilt. We've got a Bandai Mad Wolf. That is actually just a bunch of Hornet parts in that box. Got a Porsche 959, Traxxas Hawk 2, Traxxas Bullet, Associate RC10, another 959, Kyosho Outlaw Ultima, etc., etc. These guys are kits that I'm trying to, these are duplicate kits or kits that I don't really have any interest in, so I'm still trying to get rid of those. And there's the plane kit that we're working on. I'm going with a four-stroke motor on it. This is another OS FS40. It's in pretty good condition. Looks almost new. But this is what will be going into the SIG Cadet 25. Speaking of which, on the Cadet, there is the wing. The wing is essentially finished, so the next step in that project is to start working on the fuselage. But on this bench, I'm trying to put together a video, kind of a general crawling video. So I've got all these different crawlers that I want to get out and running. A lot of these I haven't run in years, if not close to 10 years. Here we have an Exceed 6x6. These are, this is kind of a cool crawler. It wasn't too expensive at the time. It's MOA, so motor on axle. It's got 3 driven axles, which is kind of fun. But this is actually a fun car to drive. Over here we have an RC 4-wheel drive Killer Crawler 2. So this is actually a quarter scale crawler with 10-inch monster truck tires to kind of give some perspective. There's a 1/10 scale axial SCX 10 crawler next to the Killer Crawler 2. Then over here we have an old school low C comp crawler. That's almost 100% stock. And then I've got my good old axial SCX. And of course, I'm getting ready to get into the smaller crawlers. I've got this Mini Z 1/28 scale Toyota 4Runner. And I've got the SCX 24. I got some parts for it to start working on that. And then we've got our camera rig getting ready to shoot video for the channel. I guess looking from the other side of the camera, this is what it looks like when I'm shooting my videos. So there's my camera. This is a little video monitor. Got some lighting there. So on this bench here, we've got the Kyosho Outlaw Raider that we just finished up. There's some projects back here. These are RF accelerator cells for for linear accelerators. I'm trying to make some bookends here. I was trying to weld stainless to copper and I just don't have the heat from my machine, so I'm gonna do a mechanical coupling of the base of the bookend to the column. And here we have my son's Traxxas Stampede that he finished building. We just need to get on to painting the body. And this is more stuff that needs to go back into the playhouse. Got some Transformers, some Legos, etc., etc. And then moving back to this bench, we've got some more kits that I'm trying to get rid of to free up some space. I've got my little airbrush paint booth that folds out. And I've got some more project cars. Got the Tamiya Striker, the Tamiya Sonic Fighter. There's an Aristocraft Kangaroo down there. Top FX10. So that's basically the trilogy, the FX10, the Striker, and the Sonic Fighter. And then I have an Astute kit. So here's an example of what I do when I get a car. This kit here, I've actually completely taken it apart. I've cleaned parts and I've sourced parts, getting ready for the rebuild. So it's just, basically a box of parts, a lot of new parts in here, a lot of alloy parts. This will be actually a runner. The Astute is a very fragile car, brittle plastics, kind of an overcomplicated design. So in this project, I want to replace a lot of the brittle parts with aluminum parts. I got some carbon fiber parts from Fiberlight. Yeah, I haven't actually opened this up in probably a year or two, but it's got all the parts and goodies for a nice little fun rebuild. So in the other part of my shop, I just got this cleaned out this weekend, did some organizing and cleaning. This is where I do some woodworking. Got my CNC router, and I got my 3D print lab. There's our Creality Falcon laser engraver. We got some risers on that. I've got my little rotation stage for doing round parts, so I use that to do the laser engraving on those glasses. Prusos, I put one in a box. And then we have one of these bamboo X1 carbons with the color changer. So I can print multiple colors now, which is really cool. And then my Ender Core XY printer. So with the bamboo, the spools have RFIDs, so the printer knows what color and what type of material you have in it. But with that, and then bamboo sells the filament as refill packs, so you don't have to keep buying spools. But in order to make that work, you need to have a respooler. So I just printed this off this weekend. Believe it or not, this kit here prints in one plate. So basically all these parts are done in one shot, which is pretty incredible how well nested the parts were. This is the Postomatic respooler. So this is your donor spool, and this is the spool that you're respooling. And then you put in your little impact driver here, or drill. And you spin that like so with your drill, and then that actually drives this mechanism here, which moves the feed back and forth across the spool. I forget what this is called. It's a spooling mechanism. That's it. Oh, so you turn that, and it moves that spooling mechanism back and forth. So the other thing I've been working on is trying to clean up my CNC router. The spindle in the router is water cooled, so you've got to have some kind of water circulator. And of course I've got a vacuum port there. So what I want to do is, I have a chiller for it. It has been sitting on the ground for the last couple of years, and it just gets in the way. So what I did was I moved the chiller into the closet up there. I'm gonna run water through the wall to the spindle. And then also this closet is where I have my dust collector. Actually, I've got my air compressor, my dust collector. So I have an extra port on the dust collector right there, which I wanna run a vacuum line from that port basically up along the ceiling and through the wall, and then that'll come out on the other side and drop down with the flex hose. So the dust collector hose will pop out of the wall around here, and then I'll run a flex line to the vacuum port there. So that's what's on the bench. As I said, it changes from day to day. I usually don't do too much during the week with work. So I'm sure by this weekend I'll have new priorities and new projects on the bench. Hopefully I can tackle some of these that I pulled down. We'll see. But hopefully I can keep this going, and we'll kind of keep sharing what we're working on. And I don't know, if it's interesting to you, go ahead and comment below. Let us know what you think. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye.